Frost Blades Trickster Day 3 update. It's been 72 hours, currently level 92, and I managed to get Vengeant Cascade to work, and I even managed to do it without having to use faster projectiles. I'm using my normal setup of Frost Blades, Ice Bite, Night Blade, Multi-Strike, Trinity, and Inspiration at the moment. I think Inspiration's really nice because of the extra critical strike since we lost a little off the tree, so I'm using that over elemental damage with attacks. I figured out how Vengeant Cascade works. I'm not gonna beat around the bush with this. The amount of projectile speed required in order to get the double hit on Vengeance Cascade on single target is somewhere in between 134 and 140. It might be any number in between those. I know it does not work at 133 and it does work at 140. So the breakpoint might be 140 exactly, and it might be one of those other numbers. That's about as close as I could get it. The way I managed to get it that close is I have a bunch of these jewels here with projectile speed. Like this one has 7% projectile speed and also freeze duration. I just looked for jewels with both freeze duration and projectile speed because I needed the freeze duration, and tried to find ones that had at least one beneficial mod on top of that. Like this one has damage with one-handed weapons. And then I have this other one with 6% projectile speed, 15 freeze duration, and attack speed with a shield. And finally, damage with claws, freeze duration, and projectile speed. So this is how I managed to figure it out. Currently, I have a setup where I have 153 projectile speed. And I reached that by using a medium cluster jewel with streamlined and aerodynamics. I bought this item level 82 medium projectile cluster for like 10 chaos, and then I just alt spammed it until I hit either streamlined or aerodynamics, and then I bought like 40 regals and just kept regaling and scouring if I didn't hit it until I finally got it. It took me quite a few tries, but probably took me over half of the regals. And I still might have gotten pretty lucky there. Might have been better to go for aerodynamics and try to slam for streamlined instead of the other way, because streamlined seems way more common than aerodynamics. But so this is my current tree setup. As you can see, I no longer am pathing all the way down to long shot. Instead, I'm going for this medium cluster. This also gives me projectiles pierce an additional target, and they both give projectile damage as well. And then I take piercing shots with the projectile mastery, and finally I actually do path down through ballistics. So I had to drop a little bit to get where I am. As you can see, my life has gone down. I'm quite a bit squishier, and I also still don't have all of my defenses set up. Alright, I'm back. My internet went out briefly for like 2 minutes, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just run a layer of the Hydra real quick, and yeah, kind of catch up where I was put off. Show the clear and the single target. Currently I don't have everything set up. I don't have my yoke yet. I was trying to self farm the oils for it, but farming gold oils is pretty hard. There's a reason. Well, I guess I have a bunch of the blighted maps I haven't run yet. I've only been running them in maps. I've only run a couple of like tier 15 or 16 maps, but all right. Oh wow, it is I'm getting some lag still. Hopefully it comes out okay in the video. But yeah, as you can see, the clear is pretty good. Pretty good. My damage is still pretty low at the moment. Like I don't have my Watcher's Eye, I don't have my historic jewel, my lethal pride yet. I do have my southbound, but yeah, it's a pretty gnarly amount of damage, like a pretty bare minimum. But the fact of the matter is that you hit so often that it just doesn't matter. Okay. Sure, I don't really feel like reading, so I'll just do the monsters one. Whenever I don't feel like reading, I just do the monsters one because it's yeah, pretty nice. I'm starting to get my Legion set up so I can farm my Timeless Jewel. I like to try to self-farm a couple of Lethal Prides before I ever buy one. Yeah, it's more efficient and you're going to get a better one to buy one, but I just like to try my luck. I have a little bit of a solo self-found mentality that way. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and do this Legion, pop it. Legions don't take too long. Okay. As long as I don't accidentally go the wrong way. Yeah, I'm gonna set up dunes so it's nice and open so I don't get stuck on walls like that, because it's really awkward for Legion farming. But you know, maybe dunes, maybe beach. Beach shouldn't be so bad. I don't even know what I have on here. Oh, it's just chain. Oop. Don't want to get hit by that. Oh, I did get hit by it anyway. Alright. I'm gonna grab all this because I need my splinters and whatnot. I'm pretty close to being able to run my first 4-way, so I'll probably do that shortly after this video. I would have liked to have gotten it done beforehand, but the 72-hour mark for the league was ticking up, and I usually like to do the first 3 days daily updates. I was actually going to skip today because I've been tired, but yeah. We'll see. When I reach the Crucible, I'll put down a portal because honestly, I very well could die. I have died. In fact, almost all of my deaths this whole league have been to Crucible. It is very rippy, like several times more rippy. Like a T6 fully charged Crucible legitimately has more life than, like, you know, the Eater of Worlds. It seems like. All right. I don't remember what I was charging up here. Oh yeah, I didn't want anything on this. So I think I'm just going for this magmatic ore. Yeah, we'll go that because I'm gonna replace my shield soon. I got a really good shield. I'm still using the one I've been using since I got it in like tier 1 or tier 2 maps. Yeah, and I'm just gonna fully charge it to show. Okay, got a nice fully charged Crucible here to show me dying probably. I didn't remember to put down a portal, so now I better not die or I'll have to do the walk of shame. Oh, wow. If that would have actually hit me, I would have 100% died to that big physical spell, or a big... Oh, get away. Okay, don't let those hit. And this guy's got siphon flasks as well, which is really obnoxious, but I have him almost dead. And he's too tanky to freeze, so I just take off my heat shiver and whirling blades through him. Unfortunately, I have to do that right now because I don't have a better solution. But I didn't die, so that's cool. Yeah, those get really gnarly. Really, really gnarly. Especially the physical ones like that, or I don't have any physical reduction. I don't really need to pick up Jeweler's Orb stuff anymore, honestly. Sure, Scarab's duplicated. I didn't read that. It probably could have been really bad. What is it doing for me? Projectiles. Oh no, projectiles are fired in a random direction. It's a good thing I shoot so many projectiles. I'm gonna skip the harvest. I do harvest because I use it to convert the lowest oils to a higher tier, and also to just craft gear and stuff. But yeah. So yeah, I'll put down my things and I'll get on the Hydra. And we phased her pretty quick. Unfortunately, I didn't freeze, it didn't seem like. Oop, there you go. Stay out of the way. Make sure you get to chilling ground underneath. That's like a lot of the DPS is just getting that chilling ground. And pretty quick kill. Alright. Yeah, I'll come back through and look through this because there's definitely some stuff in there that I want. Actually, toss this on the ground and take that round shield. That's going to be really nice. I'll take a look through the rest of it after I'm done with the video. Okay, so make some space in my inventory or I'll feel claustrophobic. There you go. Alright, so that's the character. I kind of went over how I set up getting the build to work, and the... Oh man, yeah, I had to drop the Reservation Mastery too. I had to make some cuts. So as you can see, I'm no longer in Revenge of the Hunted, so I lost some life. I did grab Heart of Oak because it was just 2 points from Ballistics, and I had to take Ballistics anyway. And I'll probably spec back into Revenge of the Hunted because the evasion is better probably than the stun avoid overall. And other than that, I didn't make too many other cuts. I just dropped life. Anything that I basically could afford to drop. I thought about dropping the Instant Leech, but I have a feeling Instant Leech is actually even better than I think it is, because it feels like a lot of times I'm surviving in situations I absolutely should not, and I think Instant Leech has a lot to do with that. So, but yeah, here's my tree. There will be a POB in the description below, and yeah, you can pretty much get it. Now, the rest of my projectile speed, I'm just getting some off of my amulet here. I didn't need to use the exalted craft on it. I could have used the lower craft since I am well over the mark for it, but I did decide to go with that. I also am not using my level 21 Frost Blades because it wasn't qualityed, so I have my lower level Frost Blades here, which I lost a lot of damage that way. I just hit 20 with it, and in fact, while we're here, we'll see if I can hit a 2120. Oh, 2023, that gives me more projectile speed. That's not too bad. I have like 4 or 5 other level 20 Frost Blades to flip and level. Leveling gems is really easy in this patch because Crucibles give an absurd amount of experience. Like, I don't know if anybody noticed this, but the gem experience you get from Crucibles is absolutely nuts. It's really, really crazy. So, yeah. But I'm going to go over my gear. This is the culmination of what I've been trying to do since I saw the Crucible spoilers in the beginning of the league, this claw. It doesn't look like anything spectacular on the surface, and that's because I have it poorly crafted at the moment. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the tree here and show you that, and then I'm going to merge this onto a properly crafted claw afterwards. I'm going to merge the tree by removing all of the notables on the other one. So this right here, the most important, number one, easily the best possible node you can get on the Imperial Claw, 41 to 60 cold damage. This is 63% of an average Watcher's Eye, the Cold Watcher's Eye that adds like 11% more damage to the build just by having. This is like 7 or 8% more damage if it's on a properly crafted claw instantly. Like, just looking at the explicit, this is a tier 3 cold roll, and it goes from 54 to 74 to 108 to 126. This is like over half. Yeah, this is over half of just a tier 3 cold roll. It's a ton of damage. It's insane. It's like 2/3 of a well-rolled southbound. Moving on, attack speed. This goes up to 10% by itself. I just got an 8%, but the real winner here is the increased explicit elemental damage modifier magnitudes. So the plan is to merge this tree right here onto a claw that has the tier 1 flat cold damage, and then attack speed, tier 1 crit and attack speed, because currently I have crafted attack speed, so it's much lower. Even though I have over a 2 attacks per second, this could go much higher, like 2.2 almost. And then I have a tier 3 crit strike. The lightning damage is okay, and the dex and socketed melee gems don't really do a whole lot. So this is a very mediocre claw, but the damage is still as high as an endgame claw previously because of how impactful these two nodes are. You can see that the base here would be 60 to 123 cold damage, but if I take it off, it goes to 69 to 141. That's at 15% at play. That elemental also scales elemental penetration and elemental damage with attacks. So if I could get those 3 prefixes, I could be doing something very significant. Also, cold damage suffix. If I couldn't get crit multi, I could instead get cold damage as my third suffix. So there's some real potential if I can get this on a really nutty, this same tree on a really nutty claw. I'm probably going to create a couple backups in case I don't successfully transfer it the first time. I've experimented with transferring the trees a little bit, and there does seem to be some randomness even if you do have you know, all of that set up. But you know, it's I'm gonna definitely go for it because it's gonna be worth it. Had to come back, just got a call from the doctor, so getting a lot of, got my disconnect from the internet earlier, and now I got that. So but like I was saying, the claw that I'm gonna make this league is probably gonna be like 40-50% better than the claw I made in previous leagues. It is substantially better, maybe not that much better, but probably like 25 to 30% more damage. It's really big when I get all of the proper gear going. And then yeah, I have my heat shiver now. I don't yet have yoke. I have this projectile speed, crit multi, evasion rating, resist amulet that has strength that I need on it, and the projectile speed and Vengeant Cascade. I have bought my yoke, but I'm going to need to actually anoint Vengeant Cascade before I start using it. And then you may ask, okay, I'm going to lose the projectile speed from this. How am I going to make up for that? Well, I'm going to have to get rid of Southbound, and I'm going to have to try to get more freeze duration elsewhere, because I am going to get, I believe, it's an influence glove. I think it's Elder Gloves maybe, that have up to 30% projectile speed. Oop. I forgot to go on D&D. There you go. All right. So I have all of that set up. I'm still using the same shield I've been using for a long time. However, I have an upgrade here with 18 spell suppress and 26 chaos resist. As you can see, I'm now using 2 amethyst rings with 23 chaos resist, and I'm to -14. Once I get everything else sorted, I should be able to get up into like probably the range of 10 to 30 chaos resist. We'll see. Like there's some resists like this fire and cold resist that I'll be able to do like a hybrid resist. I probably want to change the boots at some point too. 20% movement speed is kind of slow, but it's not the highest priority I have right now, so I'm kind of just holding on to it. New 6 link. My previous 6 link I ended up selling for like 40 chaos, which is pretty good because I made it for like 3 chaos or something. I found the base and it took me like 3 chaos worth of essences to actually make it, so pretty nice there. And then I got this one that I am going to recraft because it doesn't have an open prefix, which I'm going to need for the physical taken as fire and lightning, which I still don't have. I did move Gravicious into an intervention, which I believe is intervention is the one that comes up on every map, I believe, if I recall right. So my chances of running into Gravicious will be higher. I've ran into him like 4 or 5 times, still haven't gotten the body armor, so I'll just have to keep at that. And if worse comes to worse, I'll respec my Atlas to pick up like some of this betrayal chance stuff, like focused investigation and covert stakeouts and some of the stuff on this wheel, since I'm close to it anyway. I am going to spec out of Blight soon, so I'll be able to do that. By the way, this is what my tree currently looks like. I'm 1 point away from having all of the Legion stuff, and I will be specking out of all of the Blight stuff and going for altar farming. First for Eater, so I can get my Fortify on hit on the body armor, and then afterwards for farming currency, I'll be going to Exarch influence. After I've got all of my Eater Ickers and everything all sorted out, I'll stay in Legion probably until I do a few 4-ways and get my a couple of timeless jewels, probably 2 or 3 before I decide to go. Belt, I believe this is the same belt. It's just got a lot of life, and then I'm using it to help fix strength. As soon as I have my timeless jewel, I'll be able to take the strength off of this and do some sort of hybrid resistance chaos to get more chaos resist. I would like to do a Stygian Vice. This is an item level 79 Stygian Vice. I'll probably wait until I can get a higher item level one to craft onto here. Got my Southbound. I got a really well rolled one, and it was only like 20 or 15 or 20 chaos, so I got a good deal on it. Perfect high, like honestly perfect. Like this was about as good as you can get. The way I got this is I just sorted by cold damage, and then I just kind of looked through until I found the highest max life, and I saw one that had gone up like 4 minutes before that had 16 max life, and I'm like, yep, got to get that one. And it's only 1 off max damage, so very, very good Southbound for very, very cheap. And that is the gear, and that is the skill tree. So yeah, pretty much nothing else to really show here. Current plans, Atlas. Current Atlas completion is 106 to 115. I spent a lot of the last day doing that, other than figuring out the projectile breakpoint, which once again for Vengeance Cascade to double hit. And I don't know if I mentioned this. This is actually perhaps the most important thing, and maybe I'll put this part onto the beginning. The Vengeant Cascade, when it hits, it only seems to hit with one of the returning projectiles, meaning you hit with the initial melee attack and then one. So it only doubles your damage and doesn't times 11 your damage like I had initially hoped. But still, doubling your damage is still very significant and is actually 100% worth the points spent, because we're giving up 1 medium cluster and like a couple of points, like a total of like 6 points in order to achieve double damage. So 1 medium cluster and 6 points to double your damage. We're probably, with those 2 points and all of that, losing maybe like 20% damage, and the cluster, which could have been either an elemental ailments cluster or a crit cluster. So we're probably losing maybe 20% damage with all those points in order to double our damage. So probably ends up being like a net gain of 60% more damage. Really good, as long as we can hit our freeze thresholds, which should be much easier with this on here. Once I get my jewel, my Legion jewel, and also my Watcher's Eye, should be able to skyrocket. In fact, I might be able to get a different Watcher's Eye, either like a flat crit or a % cold damage one, or go for like a precision crit multi one. This opens up a lot of possibilities for Watcher's Eyes, because a lot of our flat damage is being brought up. Or I could just go not get a Circle of Guilt as well, because it basically gives you roughly the same amount of damage a Circle of Guilt would give you. So I can go double rare rings and add some utility that way. So there's a lot of options. The new Crucible trees add a lot of flexibility, and I expect this character to be many times stronger once I get it all run through than my previous iterations from the last couple of leagues have been. So hope you enjoyed. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye.